Hey there, friends. It's Jen Pitta with By the Shore Stamping. I want to welcome you to my very first Teach Me Tuesday video. Hopefully this will be one of many. I'm super excited, but I thought this might be a good way to reach out to you every once in a while on a Tuesday and give you some new tips and tricks. So last week I got sort of addicted to making shaker cards, and I'll admit that originally they kind of intimidated me a little bit, and I was a little bit like, they look a little hard, I don't know if I can do that, blah blah blah. But I stepped out of my comfort zone and I made one for my Stamp of the Month class last month in August, and oops, stuck in here. We'll just rip it off. I got totally addicted. So I was using the Everyday Jars set, and how cute is this, right? So it's got some fun movement to it. So I made this one here, super fun. And then I showed this to some friends, and they really loved it too. So a friend of mine asked me to do a shaker card class, so I made 4 more shaker cards, all different types. So I thought today I would show you how to make these shaker cards. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and move the camera down so you can actually see my workspace. Let's go ahead, move that down. And I've done a lot of the prep work here in advance so that it won't take forever. So having said that, though, I forgot to attach layers, but I can do that quickly while I'm talking. So what I did in advance was cut out some of the elements. That's just an extra. So I don't know about you, but I get very nervous apparently when I color in front of people. It makes me, like, my hand go all crazy do. So I pre-colored this, but I did want to show you, using the Everyday Jars, how to cut that out so you can make it into a shaker. Right now that's a solid piece of cardstock. So these are the shaker, it's actually called Everyday Jars Framelits, so you get all sorts of goodies to use, but we're going to use these two, so it cuts the inside and the outside of our shaker. I'm going to grab my Big Shot back here. And I'm using the magnetic platform because that will hold my stamped image in place. And I'm hoping you can, you can still see this, right? Oh, there's a little bit of glare there. If I stand in front of, or do this, you can see it. But basically you're going to outline the jar, and then you're going to put the inside one inside. That makes sense, right? Inside, inside. So let me see if I can lift this up so you can see. So we're putting the jar, the large one, around the image, and then we're using the inside piece inside the jar itself. And that's important because that's where your window is going to go. So that's all lined up. I'm going to roll this through my Big Shot. And the Everyday Jars stamp set, framelits, and the Jar of Love stamp set can be purchased in a bundle and save you 10%. Alright, so now you've got this extra piece here. And the framelits we'll put back, and we've got our little jar. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of Fast Fuse. Where did I put that? Oh, here it is. I'm going to use that on the outer edge of my jar that I just cut out, and it can get a little messy, so just be careful. Okay, get some of that off there. I'm using Fast Fuse. It's super strong, but will make sure everything stays in place. I'm actually going to leave that upside down. I pre-cut out a piece of acetate that is jar shaped, and I'm going to go ahead and put that right on top of that little jar that I cut out. So now you can see I have a window in there. Okay. So I pre-cut also Pool Party. If you notice in my finished sample, the background is Pool Party. So I put that there, and I'm going to use the fabulous foam adhesive strips. They come 2 of these sheets per package. There's 40 altogether, I believe. I think there's 20 on a sheet when I counted. So 2, 4, yeah, it might have been 10 and 10 and you get 20. I can't remember, but I'm not going to sit here and count while you're watching. You get a lot. So all you're going to do with these little foam, they're like dimensionals, but they're one long strip. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my foam adhesive all the way around this jar. And you don't have to be super precise about it. You just want to make sure you're not getting too close to the edge where some of the glittering goodness could fall out. So get that. Then I'm going to cut off the excess. You want to make sure there's no holes in your little edges. So see, there's no gaps anywhere. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I like to press down all along my adhesive just to make sure it's fully adhered to the cardstock. And then I also kind of rub my finger inside just so that, to hopefully prevent any stickiness from catching your sequins or whatever else you put in there. I'm going to quickly sneak away for a second. I forgot to grab my mica flakes. So I'm using the mica flakes from the holiday catalog. This is the white one. It's almost like snow, so it works perfectly for this card. There's also the gold. Green, and then there is also a gold that comes in the trio pack. So it's a great little value. So now that I have that done, I'm going to pull off, I'm going to pull this off. And I'm going to grab my little mica flakes. I'm just going to stick a little blob of those in the middle here. And I just always wipe the extra on my pants, because who can't use a little glitter in their life, right? Alright, so I'm going to try and scoot that around a little bit without making too much of a mess. And now it's as simple as lining up this window jar with the bottom layer, and now you've got a cute little shaker embellishment. See how fun that is? Wouldn't this be cute like on a tag or something too? So then you can see, I'm not actually going to go through the whole step of this because I want to show you the other way to make a shaker. So all I did with this is I put some fast fuse on the back and attach that down to the front of my card. And actually, I embellished it first. I put the string and the flowers on first and then attached it to the front of the card. But you can see how that's kind of a standalone shaker. So you could use that for so many different things, gift tags and gift cards, etc. So that's that way. And then here's another way to put together a shaker card. So this one was one of the ones I designed for my class this past weekend. And it's a little stocking, but you'll notice the it's not attached, it's like into the front of the card. So I'll show you what I did. I pre-stamped the background on this card, and then I had cut out some strips to go at the top. So what I would do is I would use those as my placement guides. That one has a cut piece, so let me steal another one from another kit. And there we go. It's a boo-boo from class, so I stuffed it in one of the other envelopes, but let's fix that. So now this is where the card starts. And I used, whoops, the, what is this one called? Christmas Stockings Thinlits dies. Really, really cute Thinlits. Oh, I hate when that happens. I'm going to move those to a better location. But I'm going to just use the plain one for this. And I'll grab my Big Shot. I'm basically just going to use these pieces of paper as my guide for placement. So I want this to look like it's hanging from the mantle. So I'm going to go ahead and place that like that. And I'm going to open this up. Pull my Big Shot back. And again, I have the magnetic platform in there, so it will hold it right where I want it. I'm going to stick my cutting mat on top of that. Roll it through. Whoa, it's an earthquake. It probably looks that way. Sorry about that. Hope that video doesn't look too bad with me shaking the table. Okay, move that back out of the way. And now you can see I have a hole right through my card. So this is another way you can do this. I pre-cut just a regular piece of acetate. So there it is again, and it's not shaped like the stocking, it's just a square. And I'm going to use a little bit of my Fast Fuse. Again, the Fast Fuse is good for holding, for making a nice strong bond. So you don't have to worry about your shaker card coming apart. So this is the inside of my card. I'm just going to go ahead and stick this window sheet on. So now you can see there's a window cut out. Okay. Now, to make my shaker, we're going to grab another one of those long foam adhesive strips. And we're going to go right around the inside of the stocking. A little tip for you, don't go right on top of that line, like right where the acetate meets the red paper, because then you'll be able to see it from the outside. So I just kind of go in about like 1/8 of an inch from the edge of the stocking and start wrapping. So you'll have like a little bit of a red border next to the white adhesive strip. And I'm just going to go all the way around my stocking. And I think this was the one that it fits almost perfectly, just a little bit extra. Make sure that's down nice and solid. I'll cut off this little extra piece. And I'm going to again go ahead and make sure that is all pushed in. Run my finger along the inside here to make sure, try and get rid of some of that extra stickiness so that sequins and mica doesn't attach to it. Another tip for you when you're doing these is don't pull the backing off of the adhesive strips until after you've put your mica into the stocking, because otherwise all this would be now stuck to my stocking. But now, because I haven't taken the adhesive off, I can go ahead and take that off without getting it stuck. Be very careful too when you're doing what I'm doing right now, because I had someone in class doing that and they wiped the whole thing right on their lap. So all that glitter is now transformed into, or transformed her house into a glitter cave. So you want to be careful. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off now. And I used some fun pattern paper, and I forgot to look at what kind it was. It's from the holiday catalog. I think it's like Christmas presents or something like that. But this is going to be the background of my stocking. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick this right over my stocking. Okay, so now this is obviously bunched up and it's kind of ugly when you open the card, right? So that's not really pretty. So all I did was I took a piece of white cardstock and I put some, where did I put my dimensionals? Here's some. I put some dimensionals kind of at the top and the bottom, just so that it will get the height that the stocking has, but also cover. And I'm going to put a little bit of this adhesive in the middle here where it's going to touch this paper. Peel off the backings on these. Oops. Oops. Come on. There we go. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stick that. You could stamp this if you wanted to, or write a message. It would be pretty hard to write on after you've taped it down because it's kind of squishy. But it covers that hole, and I'll probably put another white sheet here just so that it looks finished. But there's the shaker part here. And just because this one's pretty easy to put together from here, I'm going to go ahead and assemble the rest for you. So just a little bit of adhesive here. And a strip underneath that. And we've got our cute little top. And I used a little strip at the bottom. I don't know, for me it just didn't seem finished. So I wanted a little something here at the bottom. Like that. I already did my little happiness is coming to town. I like to put my dimensionals on the back of the circle. I like to put them in a triangle shape, like so, so that there's no sagging. I'm going to take that, stick that here, like so, and then I pre-cut out the cute little stocking pieces that come in the stockings set. I'll flip that over and do striped at the top here. And these two pieces do matter which ones go which. They're slightly different. The more rounded one goes in the toe. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one. Whoops. Oh, just pulled the CSP right off the back of that. Put that right there. It's stuck on my finger now. And one right there. So you can see my little stockings coming together. One last little touch is the adorable little jingle bells. Did you see those? There's, it doesn't list how many are in here. I think there's like, I don't know, a good bunch, like 24, 30, something like that in there. Red and silver. So I tied two silver ones together with a little bow. And then I'm going to use my glue dot because it's so much easier. And I'm just going to go ahead and attach these. Put some glue dot in the back of those bells, and it will kind of be stringy, just kind of get it so it's positioned on there. And then I'm going to put those in the corner here. And then you've got an adorable little Christmas card. So there you go.